Welcome to the deep dive. We take complex ideas and try to make them clear and actionable for you.
That's the plan.
And today, we're diving into something pretty fascinating, autosuggestion.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a hidden key to influencing your subconscious mind, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Think of it as the communication channel. It's how your conscious thoughts can actually shape what happens deep down in the part of your mind that drives action.
Right, so we're going to unpack this based on some specific material. The aim here is for you, listening, to get a real handle on what autosuggestion is.
And crucially, how to actually use it. Practical steps you can take away and apply whatever your goals might be, money, success, you name it.
Exactly. This isn't just theory. We've got concrete instructions, things pulled directly from the source.
Real tools.
Okay, let's start right there then. What is autosuggestion, fundamentally?
Well, at its core, it's simply self-suggestion. It's the process, the mechanism by which any stimulus reaches your mind through your own senses.
My own senses.
Yes, sight, sound, touch, taste, smell. It's the bridge between your conscious, thinking mind and your subconscious, what the source calls the seat of action.
So the thoughts I consciously entertain,
Hmm?
they're constantly feeding into my subconscious via this process.
Precisely. And this is really important. The dominant thoughts in your conscious mind, the ones you dwell on, whether they're positive or negative,
They find their way down.
they inevitably seep into the subconscious through autosuggestion. The material is quite emphatic that no thought gets in there otherwise, except maybe for those rare flashes of insight or inspiration.
Wow. Okay, so the conscious mind is like a gatekeeper.
That's a great way to put it. It's the outer guard, filtering what reaches the subconscious. And we all have this ability inherently to control what information gets through via our senses.
But we often don't exercise that control, do we? The source implies that's a major issue.
It does. It directly connects failing to manage this input stream to, well, a lack of achievement. It even suggests it's a key reason why many people experience financial lack.
A strong claim.
It is. The analogy used is powerful. Your subconscious mind is like a fertile garden.
Okay.
If you don't consciously plant the seeds, you want desirable thoughts, goals, aspirations, then weeds, negative or limiting thoughts, will just naturally take over. Autosuggestion is the tool for that deliberate planting.
Right, becoming an intentional gardener of the mind. So you mentioned earlier the source talks about some action steps, 6 of them, I think. We don't have all the details here, but how do they relate specifically to applying autosuggestion?
The core practice highlighted is reading your written statement of desire aloud, twice daily.
Okay, the statement defining what you want.
Yes, whether it's money or another goal. But here's the kicker. It's not just reading. You have to simultaneously see and feel yourself already possessing what you desire.
Ah, so it's visualization and emotion combined with the words.
Exactly. That repetition, done with real feeling, with faith, is what communicates the goal effectively to the subconscious. It builds the thought habits needed for achievement.
So definitely more than just reciting affirmations then.
Oh, much more. The source is very clear. Simply reading words like, say, the old Coué formula, day by day in every way. That alone doesn't work.
Why not?
Because the subconscious mind only responds to thoughts that are mixed with emotion, with feeling.
Right.
This is apparently a major stumbling block for many people. Plain, unemotional words just don't influence the subconscious. It needs that emotional charge.
That makes sense. Like you said about advertising earlier, it's always aiming for an emotional response.
Precisely. It bypasses the purely rational.
But generating strong positive emotions on demand, especially faith, that sounds challenging.
It can be, definitely, and the source acknowledges this. Gaining this kind of influence over your subconscious, it says, demands everlasting persistence.
No shortcuts.
None. You have to put in the effort consistently. You need to decide if the reward, like developing what it calls money consciousness, is truly worth that persistent effort.
So just being smart or understanding the concept intellectually isn't enough.
Apparently not, especially when it comes to attracting and keeping wealth. The material argues that sheer cleverness rarely cuts it unless maybe by chance. This method aims to bypass chance.
Okay.
Success with autosuggestion, it claims, depends on your capacity to concentrate upon a given desire until that desire becomes a burning obsession.
A burning obsession. That's intense.
That is. And it links back directly to the first of those 6 steps we mentioned.
Which was?
Fixing in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. Then, concentrating on that amount, eyes closed, until you can actually see the physical money in your mind's eye.
And do that daily.
Daily, yes. And crucially, combine it with faith, seeing yourself already having it.
It feels like you're trying to
Yeah.
convince your subconscious that it's already real.
That's a good way to think about it. The source suggests the subconscious takes orders given with absolute faith. It might need repetition, but it will act. It even calls it a legitimate trick, making your subconscious believe through your own conviction that you absolutely must have this thing, that it's basically waiting for you.
And if you achieve that belief,
Then the subconscious, supposedly, gets to work figuring out practical plans to make it happen.
interesting. So once you've built that belief, that visualization, what then? Do you just wait?
No, the next step is to hand that charged thought, that desire, over to your imagination. Let your imagination start generating practical plans.
Okay, so the imagination comes up with a how.
Yes. And importantly, don't wait for a perfect, detailed plan before you start the visualization. Begin seeing yourself with the money now, demanding and expecting the subconscious to supply the plan or plans.
And how do these plans appear? Light bulb moments.
Often as inspirations, yeah. Flashes of insight. The source uses terms like telegrams from infinite intelligence via the sixth sense.
Okay, infinite intelligence, sixth sense. Those might sound a bit abstract to some.
They can. You could think of it simply as tapping into your deeper intuition, your innate creativity. The point is, when these ideas or insights come,
Act on them.
immediately. The source stresses that failing to act swiftly on these inspirations is, and I quote, potentially fatal to your success.
Yeah. So trust the gut feeling over maybe purely logical planning sometimes.
That seems to be the implication. Step 4 is about creating a definite plan and acting, but the process described prioritizes the visualization and belief first. It cautions against relying only on reason to create the plan, because reason can be faulty or, frankly, lazy sometimes.
Okay, that's a clear process. Now, there was another element you mentioned, reciprocal exchange.
Right, crucial point. When you're doing that visualization, eyes closed, seeing the money, you also need to visualize yourself delivering the service or the product you intend to give in return.
So it's not just about getting, it's about the exchange.
Exactly. It reinforces that value for value principle. It has to be a two-way street.
This paints a picture of very conscious, very deliberate mental work. What's the big takeaway message here?
Well, the source frames reading this kind of material as a positive sign you're seeking knowledge, you're a student, but it emphasizes humility. Follow all the instructions, it says, with faith if you want the results.
Got it. Can we summarize those core instructions again, specifically for a money goal?
Sure. Find a quiet time, morning and night preferably. Close your eyes. Repeat aloud your written statement, the exact amount, the time limit, and what you'll give in return.
Okay.
While doing that, see and feel yourself already in possession of the money. Keep doing this until the visualization is clear and feels real.
And keep the written statement visible.
Yes, put a copy where you'll see it morning and night. Read it often until it's memorized.
And this applies to goals beyond money, too.
Absolutely. Any definite object or position you desire. The core principle is the same. The subconscious acts on instructions given with feeling, with emotion. And faith is presented as the strongest, most effective emotion for this purpose.
Now, I can anticipate some listeners thinking, this sounds a bit out there, or feeling skeptical. Does the source address that?
It does, yeah. It acknowledges these instructions might seem abstract or impractical at first glance.
So what's the advice?
Stick with it. Persist. Follow the instructions literally, but also in spirit with genuine intent. The promise is that if you do, a whole new universe of power will unfold. Skepticism towards new ideas is normal, it suggests, but through application, that doubt transforms into belief and eventually into absolute faith.
And that faith is the key
To becoming, as the famous lines go, the master of my fate, the captain of my soul, the power lies in influencing your own subconscious and, as the source puts it, gaining cooperation with infinite intelligence.
So this chapter, this focus on autosuggestion, it's not just one technique among many.
No, it's presented as the foundation, the keystone of the entire philosophy. Understanding it, applying it persistently, that's supposedly essential for turning any desire into its physical equivalent.
So the other principles support this one.
Exactly. They're tools to help you apply autosuggestion more effectively. It urges the reader to always remain conscious of autosuggestion's vital role.
And the recommended attitude for starting.
Approach it with the simple faith of a child. Trust the process. The instructions are meant to be practical.
Okay. So, for listeners ready to try this, what's the immediate, concrete next step suggested by the source right after hearing this?
It's quite specific. Reread the source material on autosuggestion this chapter aloud. Every night.
Every single night.
every night until you are thoroughly convinced it works and can deliver what it claims. And while reading, underline sentences that really strike you, that resonate.
Why loud?
Likely reinforces the message through multiple senses, sight and hearing, embedding it more deeply. Following these instructions, it claims, paves the way to understanding all the other principles of success.
Okay, so the core message is undeniable. Autosuggestion is presented as this fundamental way to consciously direct your subconscious and achieve what you truly desire.
That's the essence of it. And the immediate action step is clear. Create that statement of desire, charge it with emotion and visualization, and start the repetition.
It also makes me think it's probably worth taking an honest look at our own default thought patterns, isn't it?
Definitely.
Are they helping us move towards our goals, or are they maybe holding us back without us realizing? What deliberate choices can we start making right now to feed our subconscious more constructively?
And that really leads to the final thought we want to leave you with today. Take a moment and consider, how consistently and with what feeling have you really been communicating with your subconscious mind up until now?
Yeah.
And based on that, what small deliberate change can you make starting today to begin directing that immense power towards your deepest aspirations?
It's a powerful question to ponder. And of course, if this resonates, exploring those related ideas we touched on, faith, desire, specialized knowledge, that would be the next logical step on the journey.
Absolutely.
Thank you for taking this deep dive with us today.